Welcome back to class, everyone. I'm doing an introduction for this video, and what we're going to do is we're going to be working with one-point perspective again. I just want you to be aware of the changes you have. We just kind of drew one thing that was located over here, but things in perspective have a very different look to them when you're, depending on where they're located according to the horizon line as well as the vanishing point. So, for instance, if I'm drawing this box of toothpicks, if it's right here overlapping the vanishing point right in the middle, you can't see the top or the bottom or either side. There is a top and a bottom and two sides, but you can't see them because of their location. If I move up above the vanishing point to this type of location, you can see the side and the bottom. If I move to the other side above my vanishing point above my horizon, you can see the bottom and the top. I can move even further. If I'm here to the side of it, I can only, and it's overlapping the horizon line, I can't see the top or the bottom. I can see the side. But anyway, as we go down here, you can see this is the type of look you're getting over here. So depending on where you are in relationship to the horizon line, above it, below it, you're going to see the box very, very differently. And this first video is all about getting used to being in different locations. So for this first video, the only thing you're really going to need is this particular worksheet. I'll put it in downloads for you. And then you're going to need, I call it drawing from different locations. And then you're going to need just your angle. Remember to use a 2H pencil, even if my drawing's darker than that, so it'll be super clean. And then an eraser. You just need these things for this first video, and then I have something to show you at the end of the video. Okay, we can get started. Is work with drawing perspective from different angles and what that looks like in a drawing. So we've kind of been drawing, let's say, our box as if it's located down here or over here off to the side. But now we could draw it so it overlaps the vanishing point, so you don't even see the top or the bottom, or it's up above the vanishing point, so you see the bottom now, and so we're here, we saw the top. So depending on where our object is located, we're seeing, can you see this? We're seeing different sides of the box. So just kind of getting used to how that works is going to be really important. And remember, in one-point perspective, our only limit is we have to be perpendicular to the front of the building. We can't draw anything that's turned perpendicular, but it's still real perspective, and it has a lot of uses. Okay, so what we have here is a horizon line that's right across the paper. We have a vanishing point. So everything we're drawing is going to this vanishing point. I also want to make notice that from this point on, you can be off by the width of a pencil, and it can throw off your drawing. We want to be so accurate. Keep your pencil sharp, and when you're drawing a line, if there's ever like white paper between the line and where it should go, you need to erase it and redraw it. Okay, so we're going to draw these boxes one at a time and finish them off. So, and we're going to do it in order. Box number one, here's the whole front side of the box. Because it's up above us, we can see the bottom of it. So anything that's located like on your ceiling, you can see the bottom of it. And we can also see one side of it because it's off to the side from the vanishing point. The vanishing point means if you were standing here and this was you looking at this situation, this is how you would see it. The vanishing point is basically represents your eyes. And since you're you and you live in this universe, you have to stick with your vanishing point, or you'll be doing something in some weird dimension. Okay, so we need to find the back side here. What we're going to do is remember the whole concept of parallel is not really a good concept because it gets us all mixed up. So I like to say mirrors. What's happening here on the front, because it's one-point perspective and we're perpendicular, is going to happen on the back. We know that there's a square shape like this on the back side of the box, although it's in a slightly different location. So this line here is very vertical. This line here is very horizontal. So to find the back side of it, we're going to put a very horizontal line across the bottom. We already have lines here going to the vanishing point, so the drawing's partially done. So put your pencil here right on the end of one of these lines. To draw very horizontally, we put our angle on the edge of the paper and then draw across until we cross our other line. So very, very horizontal, not because I guessed, but because I used the edge of the paper. And now we need the other side of the box, which is a very vertical line. So I'm going to put my pencil right on this point where the two lines cross. Put my angle down here at the bottom of the paper and draw a vertical line. You'll notice the worksheet isn't perfect. Guess what? Mrs. Rouse made this worksheet and it's not perfect. So yeah, draw what's correct, and then you have to go with that. So if it didn't touch right, that's okay. Let's draw it as it's correct. Okay, box number 2 is we have to do a little bit more work. We already have one corner here that's going towards the vanishing point. Okay, that looks correct. This is very vertical. That looks correct. We have 2 more corners that have to go to the vanishing point. So I'm putting my pencil right here on the corner, put my angle up next to my pencil, line it up with the vanishing point, and draw towards the vanishing point. So I wasn't just guessing, and to make it even more accurate, put your pencil right on the corner and then draw the line. Okay, this other corner needs to do the same thing, putting my pencil on the corner and then drawing my line towards the vanishing point. So all 3 of these lines going back in the space are going to they're not going anywhere, they're going specifically to the vanishing point. So the only other line we need is going to mirror the front again, the lines that indicate where this square is on the back side. So this corner's equivalent or mirror on the back side is right here. This corner's place is right here, but we don't know exactly where that is, except somebody may have put a blob there. So anyway, to find this line, we know it's on this corner here. We're going to take our angle, do this correctly so it's perfectly horizontal. So putting my pencil right where those lines cross, using my angle over here on the side of the paper. Like I said, very, very important. And then go draw across perfectly horizontally. Look, it's not even on that block. And that box is now complete. Then we have box number 3. If you'll notice that part of box number 3 is above the horizon line and part of box number 3 is below the horizon line. This is actually a normal situation. Your house probably looks something like this. You're looking down at the lower part, and here's the upper part of your house, and here's some windows going off to the so your house probably looks something like this. This is a normal setup. When you're standing in front of your house, you can't see on top of your house. You can't see under your house. Actually, number 3 is complete. There's no more perspective besides what we would add for detail. So we don't have to do anything else to number 3. Leave it alone, or you can sketch a house right there. I just wanted to help you understand that sometimes we get a very simple thing to do and it's still correct. Okay, number 4, we have to do some more work. This is below the horizon line, so we're looking down on it so we can see the top of this box instead of seeing the bottom of the box like we did in the other squares. So to get this one started here, this one corner is already going to the vanishing point, so that line's okay. Now let's take this corner here towards the vanishing point. Putting my pencil carefully on the corner, lining it up with the vanishing point, and then going ahead and drawing across. I want to point out, like you see right here, in some of my drawings you see these little dots here I've made for point of reference. Occasionally, just being off a little bit here or there, that dot may not end up being in the right place. That's fine. You draw it correctly. Also, don't draw to that. Your lines are always going to the vanishing point. So even if you think I'm directing you in some direction, don't draw to it. This little dot right here actually doesn't have anything to do with this box. So it's right below us, directly below us, so we can't see either to, here we go. We can see the top of it, but we can't see on the left or right side of the box. So, so we can only have to find the back side of this front line here. This is perfectly horizontal, so we need to find the top, which is going to be a perfectly horizontal line as well. Some person made this dot here, so let's go ahead and we can use that for a reference, or this over here. I'll use this instead. So So I'm going to line my angle up on the side of the paper and go ahead and draw a perfectly horizontal line because I used the side of the paper. So this one is actually done. Even though you kind of want to draw one of the sides, you can't see the sides from this location. Okay, now we're down here on number 5. We have to do almost all the drawing from number 5. This angle is just the angle that looks cool, but it's not always the angle where you find things. So we're going to take these 3 corners to the vanishing point specifically. So this corner up here, put your pencil on it. See, that's the thing too, if you're off of pencil width. So because I'm putting my pencil down here, I don't have to account for the width of my pencil. Line it up with the middle of the X, draw towards the vanishing point. Put my pencil down here, line the angle up with the middle of the X, the middle of the vanishing point, and go ahead and draw my line. You can stop it where you cross that reference point if you want. Then I put my pencil down here, and then draw up to the middle of the vanishing point and stop. And I know I'm just going to be smaller than this space, but when you do draw a line and it runs into something else, just stop drawing. It's just going to make you confused later. So it's going to be consistent that we don't draw lines through things. So anytime you hit something, stop. Okay, so we have all our lines going to the vanishing point. Remember, I told you can always double check it by holding up your drawing at an angle, and you can see all these lines going to the vanishing point. In fact, I could go all the way around my drawing and do that. Now I just need to find the side and the top. This is going to be very, very vertical. This is going to be very, very horizontal. So all I have to do is I'm going to make an X here that's more accurate. I had to put my pencil here on the corner. And then I'm going to put my angle here on the bottom of the paper, so I get a perfectly vertical line. And then I'm going to put my pencil on the same place, put my angle on the other side of the paper, and then draw a perfectly horizontal line. And now that one is complete. And then of course you could erase. And then one thing about when you erase things, if you always leave just a tiny bit of an X on the corner, it makes it easier to find the middle if you ever need to work from that corner again. Okay, this one's done. We're just going to kind of have it showing when we're done with our other part of our drawing today. We're going to start an assignment. Hey everybody, this is a new ending to that video. I wanted you to know we did a worksheet just now that looks something like this. This probably is not the exact one. And then as carefully as you can, getting to the vanishing point, corners as tight as you can, just very, very carefully practicing things in different locations. Typically after this assignment, we would do a new assignment that looked like this. A couple things I just wanted to tell you about it. The reason I would have you do this assignment is that you have to be really careful and really picky, and it's a really good practice for perspective. If you love perspective, sometimes just set up something like this and do it, because it's actually super hard to pull this off. This is the hardest perspective assignment. But once you've pulled this off, it starts being really natural and everything. So I just wanted you to know a couple things that I had you do. Is obviously you had a central vanishing point, everything measured carefully and spaced out, so they would have the back sides would all line up just like the front sides do. But one thing I had you do, sometimes if you know something, if this top of this box is doing the same thing the top of these boxes doing, the front corner line, it's all parallel. So the back would be parallel as well. If you could just transfer that information over here, you would just transfer that information over here. Here you have a corner, this would come down vertically. Just transfer that up here, transfer that here, and so you have a corner, and this would be horizontal. Then you would just start transferring across, and so on. Just a very careful drawing. We just don't have time for this assignment. I want to give you something that has a little bit of a creative touch. So I just thought I'd show you a couple other of these, just because we can't do it, but it's a fun assignment. Here's another student sample where you pull it off, and then I would have had you color it. Here's another one with, I guess you guys call it umber, kind of like these blended colors. Another one looks pretty good, the front and the back, and I'm not quite sure what the rolls were, but it came out looking really nice. Here's one where they really kind of got advanced and thought of a new way to do it. This one's pretty crazy. I haven't, you know, I don't know how they figured this out, but they did. You know, just a matter of time dividing the box up and getting some new corners within the box. So just some really stuff. It's a great assignment. It just, we don't have time, so I'm sorry about that. Now you have another video to do today, and this is in 2-point perspective, and the video is going to talk about it. What 2-point perspective is right now we've been doing 1-point perspective. We have a horizon line, and we have, what we had is we had our box, and it was in different locations. And when it's above the horizon line, we could see the bottom. When it's below the horizon line, we would see the top, and so on. But here's the thing. What happens when what we're drawing is kind of counterpunctuous? What if it's like this? Oh no, we can't draw that anymore. You know what I mean? It's all of a sudden something different has happened. And you need a new kind of perspective. We're not perpendicular to the front anymore. We now have a vanishing point for one side of our object and a vanishing point for the other side of our object. So the second video today, you're actually just doing the worksheet that looks like this. I'm going to be talking you through this, and this is how 2-point perspective works. 2-point perspective is super cool. It's not that much harder, but it has a really nice look to it. 1 point does not mean that it's simple perspective. It just means it's certain situations are 1 point, other situations are 2 point. But the next video you're going to turn on for the second half of class, you're going to need this worksheet. I've got it for you under downloads, and I'll call it 2-point perspective worksheet. And then make sure you have a copy of this worksheet, and then start the second video for today.